Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Now this here is an article, right? And it says, it's from 2018. And it was a clip from a show, but you can't find the clip on the YouTube, but they've still got the articles, right? And it's about this Edomite looking girl, but she believes that she is black inside, right? And it caused like a storm in Britain. It caused the little people, the Edomites were bugging out. How can she say this and this, that, and the other, But she can say it because she in her spirit she knows that she's a Jake, man. And when you go into the scriptures, you've got people that look white, all right, and look like Chinese, look like Japanese, but they're Israelites. All right, they're part of the 12 tribes. They go back to either so-called Negroes or so-called Latino, Spanish-speaking tribes. One of those tribes they go back to, man. So they're really Israelites. They're not really. They look white on the outside, their shell, or Chinese, what have you. But their spirit is aligned with the Israelites because they are really Israelites down their father's lineage. So I'm gonna read this here. Is this another Rachel Dolezal? Question mark. Rachel Dolezal she was a woman that's a Jake, but she looks like, she's got like a Edomite looking flesh, but she's a so-called black woman, man. And she acknowledges that, and Crackers, and she got the afro and all that. And Crackers, I think, got upset by that, by her acknowledging that she's a so-called black woman, but she has the outside flesh looks more like an Edomite. All right. And you got a lot of those kind of cases. But look, check this out. First Dates Hopeful is slammed by viewers for saying she was born in the wrong race and insisting I'm white, but I feel more black inside. All right, and she only goes for Jake men. I mean, this is from 2018, but it shows you that the scriptures are true, man. Because the Lord mingled Israel, all right, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. He mingled the seed of Israel. The Israelite man has been mingled among all people on the planet Earth, man. All right, and she's an example of that. All right, and guess where she's from? Scotland. So, I mean, and we know that Scotland and Ireland, Europe was ruled by a Jake. It was ruled by so-called Negroes, right, in the Middle Ages. All right? The so-called African-American, so-called West Indian, so-called Haitians, which are the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, were ruling all throughout Europe, England, Scotland, Ireland, okay? All over Europe. So we sowed our seed amongst the Edomites, okay? So anyway, let me read a bit of this and I'll get into the scriptures. It says, a First Dates Hopeful shocked viewers when she said she was born into the wrong race and that although she is white, she feels more black inside. Ruth, 27, from Scotland, a carnival dancer and trainee accountant who showed off the effects of a Brazilian bum lift on a Channel 4 dating show, explains she's bugged out. We know she's bugged out, but just for the edification, she knows that she says that she's black inside, right? Explained that she identifies more with black culture than any other and said she was single because of her preferred taste in black guys and a lack of them in her Scottish hometown. All right. So she's from a Scottish rural, in Scotland today, because Esau's ruling, right? The so-called white man's ruling. So she's from a town in Scotland and she prefers only Jake men. And because she's an Israelite amongst all them crackers or whatever in the middle of nowhere in Scotland. But she's an Israelite. All right, I think I've got born in the wrong race syndrome, where I am white, but I feel more black inside, probably, she said. All right, the comments did not go down well with viewers who accused her of cultural appropriation on Twitter. Yeah, because they don't understand, man. Meaning they were saying, man, you're a white woman, man. You're not a black woman. How can you claim that when you're white? You see, but they don't understand, man, because the Lord, the spirit of the Israelites is among all the people, the seed of Israel. Now it's not hard to understand. Well, it is if you ain't got the spirit. But look, check it out. If, like brothers always use these analogies, if a so-called black man got with a white woman and had a baby with her, sometimes you can see that the baby looks more like the mum. It looks more like a so-called white baby, right? Even as it gets older and all that. It features and all that, right? That son, right? Now, but his dad's a so-called black man, right? Going back to his dad. Now that son that they've had goes and has a baby with a white woman now, goes and has another baby, be it a daughter or a son. Now that baby looks like it looks more like the mother of, the son's mother. Now that baby's gonna look more like what? More like a Edom. It's gonna look more white. You see? But the spirit inside it comes from that father, which goes back to his father, which was a so-called black man. So you can see how that can happen, all right? Easily. So the baby's gonna look more like a so-called white person, and people are gonna accept it as a white baby and all that. But deep down inside that person's spirit, they know that they're not white, man. There's a difference. Now she's actually saying that she was born in a Scottish town, but she didn't vibe with the people there, man. Because that somewhere down her line, she goes back to one of the tribes, man. And we've been saying that. That's with all the nations on the planet. The tribes have mingled their seeds amongst them, man. Okay? So anyway, I'll keep reading this here. On Twitter, and compared her to Rachel Dolezal, the white former NAACP leader who falsely portrayed herself as African American. One viewer said on Twitter, Ruth showed absolutely no awareness of how offensive her remarks were. The dancer, who went to Strathclyde University, has also appeared on E4's reality series Party House, which aired in 2014, where she got into a disagreement with a man who had been two-timing her with her best friend Sarah. This is that bullshit, right? But look, you can see here, I don't know why the picture's not there. And that's Satan. But it says, Ruth, 27, from Scotland, said that she identifies more with the black culture than any other, and said she was single because of her preferred taste in black guys. I don't know why these pictures are not there. But it's an old article. But this is the girl anyway, pretty much. And you can kind of see she's a Jake, man. She's a white Jake, man. You can see that, man. When you can see she's a Jake, man. All right. Now, I'm going to read this here. This is 1 Samuel 16 and 17. And this is when the Lord, told Samuel to pretty much go and choose the next anointed, pretty much, man, to be a ruler, pretty much. And Samuel Samuel went among David's brothers and saw all these mighty men, mighty Israelite men, right? But look at what the Most High said. 1 Samuel 16 and 7, it says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his... Okay, I'll read it from here. And it came to pass when they... Okay, I'll read it from here, actually. And 1 Samuel 16 and 5, and he said, peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before me. So meaning Eliab, one of David's brothers, he said, surely that's the man that the Lord has chosen. All right. That's what Samuel said, right? Surely this is the Lord's anointed in front of me. Okay. And it says here, it goes on to say, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on his height or on his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. All right. So he told him, look, pretty much, man, I don't look at how man sees, because you might see someone who looks all mighty and strong and all this, but then the Lord ain't with them. He's with the person that don't look like that. The skinny dude that never done a push-up in his life or whatever. The guy that's 5 foot short guy, the guy that's, whatever. However the case, people that you might not see and deem as mighty and all that, the Lord is with the lowly. Okay? The Lord is with the lowly, man. You see? So that's why the Lord said, the Lord looketh on the inward of people, man, of man. All right? And that's what we do in the spirit, man. We can see when someone believes in this faith and they look like another nation, we can see, man, that they've got to be an Israelite. So going back to that article, that girl, she said that she the Scottish girl, she said she feels more like she's black inside. All right. And then it caused a storm because people don't understand why she's even saying that. It caused a storm by saying, how can you say that you're a white woman? Because they're looking on the outward appearance. But inwardly, she's an Israelite. See? But the Lord knows that, because what the Lord did, he mingled Israel among all people on the planet Earth. He mingled the seed of Israel. So I'm going to read this here. This here is James. He spread the Israelites amongst everyone, man. Okay? Through various captivities, to fulfill prophecy, man. Put us in captivity on the different nations. So you got Israelites in Japan, in China, in India, in all over the world, man, in Croatia. All right. James 1:1. James, a servant of our Lord and the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes, all right, which are scattered abroad, greeting. So and James was an apostle that was teaching the word of the Lord, man. And what did he say, man? He said to the 12 tribes which are scattered. That's why the apostles went on different various missions, because Israelites were in different parts of the world, man. So he said to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, man. And it's nothing new today. The tribes are everywhere. So when this deliverance comes, and you got brothers in the camps that look like so-called white people, but they're Israelites, man. So when the Lord comes to deliver Israel this time around, all right, there is going to be white-looking people beamed up, but they're Israelites. They're not going to be Edomites. They're not of the actual other nation that they look like. They're actually Israelites. See? So the 12 tribes have been scattered abroad. Greetings, man. And that falls in line with Revelation, because it says here, I'll just read it here, Revelation 7:9. Okay? It says, and after this, Revelation 7:9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues. All right, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So it says, when it says of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, they are Israelites that were amongst all the other nations, all right? So they were speaking Chinese, but they were Israelites. They were really, their descendancy went back to the 12 tribes, one of the tribes. All right, they weren't actual Chinese people. They weren't actually actual white people. They were actually Israelites. But guess what? They have their part in this too, because they're going, the Israelite foreigners, which are the Gentiles, they're going to get their salvation too, man. The ones that are allotted to get it. All right. And I'll jump to this, Revelation 7:13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they which, because John was like, who are these, man? Like, they didn't look like your typical so-called Negro or typical Native American. They look, or what you would perceive that is what the Native American or so-called Negro looks like. A so-called Negro, like a John Shaft, like brothers always describe that, like Shaft looking, or Wesley Snipes looking. All right? They didn't look like that. So he said, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Yeah, because they were Israelites, man. So he said, basically John the Revelator was saying, who are these, man? Who, like, they don't look like your typical so-called Negro or so-called Hispanic. Like, they look like Chinese or Japanese, but who are they, man? But they were Israelites. But they were Israelites that had been brought back to the Lord, all right? That had been scattered. All right, so that girl in the article, that the Scottish girl, right? She's an Israelite, but looks like a so-called white woman. But she actually says herself, I identify more with the black culture. All right, I identify more with Jake's, pretty much. She said. All right, so you can't make that stuff up, man. She does, because she is an Israelite, you know. Anyway, with that, I'm just gonna say, all praises to Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.